Welcome to the Cluttered Corner. I'm Chelsea. Today is day 24 of Inktober. And if you don't know, Inktober is, it's October, and every day is a new prompt for drawing. Today's prompt is expedition, which I think is a good word, but I would have liked if it came before some of the other ones that were similar but vague. I don't know. Expedition makes me think of two things. One is in Winnie the Pooh when they go on that expedition to the North Pole or South Pole. Can't remember. But they find it. Well, they don't really find it, but they do. And also, in a place I used to live, there was like this store that was like an expedition. I don't know if it was a store. It was a building though, and it had like a service that was like for expeditions. And one of the places you could go to like the Galapagos or I think Antarctica. I don't know. It was just like, what is this place? I never went in. It was always like somewhere I would see while I was like driving, and so I didn't feel like I needed to go in, it would have been inconvenient to try and go in, is what it would have been. But I don't know what kind of creature this is going to be. It looks a bit like a turtle. It's kind of a turtle face. But anyway, I've always been fascinated by this place, this expedition place. And it's just like, what? Like, who's going on expeditions? And it just seems like something that I don't know, like a club of old men would have done, like in 100 years ago, like in England or something. And, I don't know, some kind of explorers club, but it was like an expedition place. Go on expeditions. Because then it's like, what does that mean? It's not a vacation. It's an expedition. So it's like, what are you, like, how is there enough expedition business for a place like that to be in business? And this wasn't that long ago. Like, maybe like 10 years ago, I saw this place. I mean, it might still be there. But, yeah, it had 3 locations it advertised as, like, places you could go. And, I don't remember what the third one was. Alright, this turtle is going on an expedition to this. I'm not sure what this flag symbolizes. This is the top of this little hill, I guess. I'm gonna put a bird here. A bird who's like, it's not that hard to get up this hill. You just fly. Like, whatever. It's hard to draw. It's hard for me to draw bird wings that are, like, out. That one came out pretty good, though. I also have trouble drawing their tail. I guess I just generally have some trouble drawing birds. But this one's coming out pretty good. I think they always have their little feet tucked in. This bird's like, expedition, whatever. So easy. And this turtle's just like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And then back here, it's going to be somebody else who's like, I could get here first if I wanted. But what is it? Maybe a mouse. I like to draw a mouse. I'm drawing lots of animals today. Okay. Put those ears there. And I'm going to put this mouse wearing a backpack. Because it is also on an expedition. It was on an expedition to somewhere else, but it found this place. And it's like, well, I could just discover this, I guess. Someone's obviously already discovered it, because it has a flag. But that doesn't mean that they can't go on an expedition to it. So obviously people go on expeditions to places other people have already been. And he can be holding a little walking stick. And let's put little footprints. Little mouse footprints. And this turtle has turtle footprints, I guess. I don't really know. So they're all going to this thing. Mouse could get here first for sure. But will he? Because he's like, this isn't the prize that I was after. I was after something else. So he knows that even if he gets here, it's not actually the success he was going for. But should he take it just because he can? We don't know. I mean, he's got to decide. He's got to decide quick, because somebody else is going to get here. Now, let's see. What can we put in the background? Maybe like a city? Back here? I'm drawing it now, so I guess a city. Trying to like just draw like buildings. It's not looking right. I didn't want to have to draw like too many details for the buildings. So I think I maybe shouldn't have drawn anything on them. But you know, it's okay. And what do things look like? Things always look like, I don't know, there's just like stuff. Way more detail than I want to draw. But there can be a city kind of in the background. Maybe some trees. There's always like trees and stuff. At least here. I guess other places maybe they don't have just bunches of trees everywhere in the city. Yeah, and then let's put maybe like a waterfront. And I don't know. How do I draw that? It's kind of water in the distance. Okay. I'd like something here, but maybe that would take away from like what's going on. And also I feel like there should be something written on here, but I'm not sure what. And I really want to put a number 1 on it, and I don't know why. So I'm gonna actually do it. I'm just gonna put that there. We'll figure out why later. And I'm gonna add a little bit of something to this. Just, I don't know. So it's been sitting there a while. It's kind of weathered. And this turtle, okay, so here's their motivations. This guy, he's on an expedition for something else. Found this instead. He could take this success, but it's not the one he was going for, so will it have the same meaning? Is he just taking it away from other people? This bird is just trying to have an easy win and be like, I can just do this. This is easy. This turtle is real serious about it. And he's got a real fired up look, you know? Like, but I'm not sure what his deal is. I'm not sure yet. Draw a little bit of grass here. And, maybe there's like a plaque in the ground? Are there plaques in the ground? And this explains like what is going on with this. You can still go on an expedition to a place that other people have found and documented and put plaques on, right? So like, I don't know, this is an important place to go. And I don't know, it's like a contest? Other people have been here, but these guys are all trying to get here first also, even though clearly they're not really like the first. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what is going on there, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. I feel that this is red, and I don't know why, but I do. So I'm just going to paint it red. I'm going to start there. Even though it's got a number 1 on it, and first place is blue, not red. But red is second place. But also, that's not what this is about. This isn't actually like a first place flag. I mean, that doesn't even make sense. So I don't know what it is. It's the number one place that has been found. I don't know. I guess it depends on what that plaque says, but we don't know what it says. It's too small to read. I really like using this brush. I was talking about it yesterday. This one versus the dagger brush. Now, I do really like the dagger brush, but I really like, I don't know, just like the water control that I have with this, the color control. I don't know, but it does take a million years to paint with this. Which is mostly why I have been using the dagger. And there's nothing wrong with using either of them, really. But, if you're, if you're filming a video and you want it to be shorter, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if the videos need to be shorter or not. But it does get really hot in here with the door closed and the air conditioner off, so that is also a concern. Even though it's well into October, it's the 24th, almost the 25th. I like this. I like how this came out. Okay. Moving on to, And the last time I drew a turtle, I totally made it a Koopa. We're not going to make it a Koopa this time. We're gonna keep it turtley. Who's your favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? I feel... Well, okay, there's so many different instances of them now. And we had been watching that one on Nickelodeon that started... God, was it 2012? It feels like a million years ago now. But at the time, it was like, oh, it's new Turtles. Now, out of those four, Mikey's definitely my favorite. But then, okay, so then there's also like the, because that one was like computer animated. And then there's also one that came out recently-ish, more recently than that, that's got, I guess 2D animation. And that one, I don't know, I think Donnie's my favorite in that one. I mean, April's my favorite in that one, if I'm being honest, but she's not a turtle. But that one, I thought, at the time, I was like, we don't need another Turtles. I'm happy with Turtles that we have. But then we tried watching it, and actually I wasn't happy with Turtles that we had, to be honest. To get into it, Turtles, the 2012 Turtles, like, it's good. But, like, the first season is, like, really good. And then after that, it's like, they don't want it to be in the same location. And then they, like, go to this farm, and, like, I think that was season 2. Maybe that was season 3. I think that was 2. And it just really threw me, because they just kept waiting for them to get back to the sewer. And they were, like, on this farm, and, like, the whole time, like, I think eventually they did go back, but it was just like, wait, is this the season? Is this what's happening? And then season 3 took place somewhere else. Season 4 was like in space or something. I don't know. I got so bored. So I do think of it as something that I really love, but I also feel like, did I? Because I loved it at first, and then maybe, I don't know. I mean, the season where they're on the farm, I don't think I dislike it, but like, I don't know. It's just so... I really don't like when shows do that. And, like, the Rapunzel show did that, too. Where, like, each season is, like, they gotta make a new place for them to go or to be. And sometimes that can be okay. But also, it can be kind of, like, off-putting, I feel like. Because then you're like, well, I'm not grounded. I don't know what we're doing, Now the Rapunzel one, I don't know, that show's amazing. Even if they do that same thing where they, like, want to be somewhere else every season. Didn't quite finish it, though, so no spoilers. Um, I think we were on season 3. They were traveling around in like a caravan thing, and there was a big reveal, which I won't say what it was, but it was something that we had been like, oh, I bet this, and it was like, I don't know, it was good. It was a good big reveal, and I don't know what happens after that. But anyway, back to turtles. So I had thought, we don't need new turtles. We already have new turtles. Well, that animated, I mean, they're all animated. The 2D animated one, the newer one, which I don't, Rise of the Turtles. Rise of the Turtles is what it's called. That one is so funny. Like, we did need another Turtles, it turns out. Like, I should be more open to new things, I guess, because, well, I say usually they turn out good. That's not necessarily true. I'm sure there's ones that don't. But that Turtles is so funny. And we did need that, we did need that. And I just love it. I probably love it more than the 2012 Turtles. But I don't know. I have some really good memories of watching those 2012 Turtles, at least like first season. Buzz. Such a good show. For a while. But yeah. And Rapunzel show. I can't remember what it's called. It's like Rapunzel's Adventures? I don't know. Doesn't matter. I mean, there's only one Rapunzel like TV show. And it had some issues, but overall, I think it was really good. And I like that they had the same voice actors like from the movie. When I was a kid, that would not happen. It's so weird how things change. Because like, back in like the 80s and 90s, there was like, if there was like a TV show made from like a Disney movie like that, nobody from the movie was going to be in it. And some of the shows were good. Like, Aladdin was really good. That was probably the best one. The Little Mermaid one was kind of, like, it wasn't that great. But they really put the work into Aladdin. Now, I do think Iago is the same voice actor. Gilbert Godfrey. I think it was the same person in that one. Or maybe it was just someone who sounded like him. I mean, obviously it's a voice that you can, like, it's a distinct voice you could imitate. I think it might have been him, though. I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up. I know Genie was a different person. He was Homer Simpson, I think. And I kind of liked him better. Like, partially because I'm just, watched more of that one. But also because he's a little bit, he's still got, like, Genie vibes, but he's a little bit more, like, not just so out there and, like, on, like, it's not such an aggressive, like, hey, I'm Genie, like, which is fine for the, I don't know what they wanted for the movie. And, I mean, I don't know, Robin Williams is, like, he's got a lot of energy, I'm going to switch brushes now because, well, no, wait, I got to color this backpack. Got to color the backpack. What color do you think it is? It's probably a dark blue. Most backpacks are dark blue. That's a fact. That is a definite fact. Don't look it up. You can trust me. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, like, with Aladdin, Robin Williams, like, they paid him, he took minimum wage as, like, payment. And at the time, like, when I was a kid, I think it was, like, 11 when that came out, I didn't quite understand what that meant. But basically, it was like, oh, so that they could afford to have him. Which seems silly because you're like, it's Disney. Can't they afford it? But, like, whatever. But I don't know what his fee would normally be. So he took minimum wage to be in that. But part of the deal was that they couldn't use, like, I think it was Genie specifically. They couldn't use him to sell toys. Well, guess what? They did it anyway. And he was mad. And then, to supposedly make up for it, they bought him, like, I don't know, $1 million Van Gogh or something. Maybe Van Gogh costs more than $1 million. I don't know. They bought him some crazy expensive painting as a gift. And I'm like, how does that fix that? You know? Like, he didn't want them using him to sell toys to children. So then you fix it by doing more, I don't know, like, even more consumerism and capitalism. I don't know. It's just like, how does that fix it? Now, if they had, like, donated the money to, like, children or something, like, to, like, a cause that helps children, I feel like that would be more in the spirit of, like, making up for what happened. But they didn't. They gave him an expensive present. At least as far as I know. And all of this, like, I can't verify this. This is just what I have heard. And I just think, like, what? What were they? It just shows, like, they really didn't get it. And, I mean, I guess he accepted the painting. I don't know. But, I think. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I'm just spreading rumors here. But, yeah. I mean, of course they were going to use Genie to sell toys. I don't think they needed to. I mean, I think they could have just used, like, Aladdin and Jasmine to sell toys. But, you know. And, like, Carpet. Don't forget Carpet. And, Abu. Iago. Yeah. There's a lot of people who can sell toys. You don't... Now, I think Iago would be great because I feel like Iago would be all for selling toys, you know? I feel like he would love that. Not necessarily the voice actor, I don't know. But, like, Iago himself, I feel like, would be... He'd be cool with that. As long as he got some of the profit. I mean, you know, Iago, like, is sounding an awful lot like a job, which I don't see Iago having. But as long as he doesn't realize it's a job, I think he would be into it. I mean, I guess it's not a job, because he doesn't have to do anything. They're just using his likeness. And as long as they're just using his likeness, and he is not doing anything, but he is getting paid, then I think he'd be cool with it. But yeah, that show was great. I love that show. And, like, there was, like, one where there was, like, this beautiful green bird that they met in the jungle, and her and Iago, like, I don't know, they became a couple or something. And, I don't know, it was a good show. Oh yeah, and there was that girl Genie, the green one. Can't remember her name. But, like, her and Genie got together. I love when there's, like, I don't know, I guess romances and stuff. And, like, some kind of, it doesn't have to be drama, you know, but, like, when cartoons and stuff, like, when things would actually change like that, you know, like, they're not afraid to, like, let things actually happen. I like that. Now, as I was saying, back then, it was just unheard of for anyone from the movie to be in the show, and, like, that's just how things went, you know, and anything in the show, like, wouldn't have anything to do with the movies. I mean, it would, is in the sense that, like, it's the same characters and premise, but, like, I don't know if, like, because they made 3 Aladdin movies total, and I don't know how much that had to do with the show. I mean, I think it was people in the show still, in those movies. And actually, Aladdin might have been the same guy, because he was just Steve on Full House. So I don't know. I don't know that he was, like, too big of a star to be on. He was already on TV. Because that's the thing, is, like, if you were in movies, you weren't in TV. And if you were in TV, maybe you aspired to be in movies, but, like, they were just such different worlds. Like, TV was seen as, like, lesser, even though it's not. And now, things are, like, way different. People be whatever they want. They can be in both, because both of them are legit. Which, I mean, they always were, but, you know. And I don't know, it just blows my mind now that there'll be like continuity in kids shows. I don't have children. I just like watching kids shows. I mean, only ones that are good, But just to be clear, like if you don't know me, I mean, I also write books for kids, so all this tracks. But like, it just blows my mind that there's continuity. There's like actual like character development, relationships. I don't know, stuff going on, like a plot for like the whole season and and these are just normal things for shows, but it didn't used to be a thing, especially for kids shows, and like even for like just like sitcoms and stuff back in the day, there would be ongoing stuff, but it wasn't the way it is now, and it was rare, and it was like, I don't know, every episode of like a sitcom had to kind of pretend that like you've probably never seen the show before. And because I mean, you might not have, because they want to catch you while you're just like flipping channels and then be like, oh, here we go. You might want to watch this. And that's why there was like theme songs and stuff. And I think partially why there's not really any now, because we don't need it. Like, you know what you're watching. And if you don't know what you're watching, you'll just like press pause and it'll tell you. I mean, maybe if you watch things on actual TV, I don't know. My parents watch things on the actual TV. I do not. I only watch things online. But, yeah, so I don't know, it's great how things have changed. And I don't know. I know, like, sometimes you read, like, well, sometimes I read screenwriting books and stuff, and they'll be talking about how things like, everything's gotta go faster now. Like, people want stories to go faster, and then you just burn through all this, like, material right away. And, I mean, I kind of think that's the wrong way to look at it. But also, as a consumer, or as someone who watches things, I like, I mean, there's a reason that it's trended that way. And I don't think it's just because, like, people don't have attention spans. It's, like, it's more fun. And, like, and, it depends. Because it's not, like, older shows aren't necessarily fun. But I do feel like there's an awful lot of standing around doing nothing in old shows. And it's boring. And there doesn't need to be that. Like, sometimes you watch, like, 80s shows and, like, okay, this is going to be controversial, but we tried watching first episode of old Twin Peaks, never seen it before, didn't like it. I know a lot of people like it, and it seems like something we should like, and I think someday we're going to give it another try. But that first episode was so boring. And there's just like 5 minutes of like watching someone drive up the driveway. And it's like, why is this in here? Like, what is this adding to the story? Nothing. So I don't know if it picks up after that. I don't know. If you like Twin Peaks, tell me why you like it. Tell me why I should give it another shot. Like, do you agree that the first episode is maybe not the best, and, like, there's still hope for it if I didn't like that one, or, like, if it was boring? I don't know. Sometimes you look up your favorite TV show, and then, like, the questions that come up are people being like, when does it get good? And you're like, what are you talking about? It's good from the beginning. Like, if some shows, it's like, if you don't like it from the beginning, you're just not gonna like it. But then other things, like, there's hope. Now, I'll admit, like, when I first started watching, when I first tried to watch Parks and Rec, didn't like it. It felt like it was just trying to be The Office, but not, and I just didn't get into it. But then I heard somebody else say, that they had been told to start from the second season. And I was like, okay. And I don't remember if I did start, I think I started from the second season then. And it's good. It's one of my favorite shows. And now I can watch the first season, and I'm not sure I can even pinpoint, like, what makes the difference. But, like, there is something different about it. And season 2 is definitely better than season 1. And it is totally not trying to be The Office. I mean, it's made by the same people, so there are some similarities. And I guess there are some issues in that where, like, I have heard them talking about it in a podcast, Parks and Recollection. I haven't listened to the whole thing, but I did listen to some of the beginning episodes. And the writers were talking about stuff that they did with Leslie that just kind of didn't make sense and, like, isn't really her. And I think that's part of it, is that they just didn't have her character down. And I don't know if that's to say that, like, her character wasn't as good before, or if it was just kind of inconsistent because, I don't know, they didn't quite know her. But yeah, so season 1 isn't as good. But when you rewatch it and you already know that the show is good, you know, like, season 1's not so bad. It's just kind of off, like, you know. Like, there's something where she, like, talks about, like, lying about something, and it's just like, what? It's not her. But it is still funny. And I think also I had trouble understanding what was even going on in it, because there's, like, government stuff, and like the one where they're, like, canvassing and, like, trying to get, like, signatures for stuff, and I'm just like, I don't understand, and it seemed boring. But once you've been watching it and it's like, oh, okay, they're trying to make this park, and this is just, I guess, how it works. Yeah, anyway, Parks and Rec is a great show. I love it. I rewatched it a bunch of times. Office is also a great show. I've also rewatched that a bunch of times. Office Ladies podcast, also great. I'm not caught up, but I love it. I love that podcast. And, yeah, this is, it's not turning out super great here in the background. I think it's okay. And I mean, it's just background. But, you know, buildings and water are kind of similar. I'm going to switch brushes again. I'm almost done with this. I'm going to put some darker color on the water in the background. I'm going to try and go that route, because, I don't know, some of these buildings kind of disappeared. Oh, it's really dark. Well, it's going to dry lighter than that. And, I did want it to be darker. I mean, water sometimes is very dark. Oh, I'll fix that later. Yeah. Okay. This is maybe not looking so great. But, you know, whatever. It's the background. I don't care. This isn't part of the story. The story is about these guys on their expedition to this flag at the top of this little hill, which is somehow a great achievement for them. And I don't know, I think, who do you think should get it? I'm kind of leaning towards the mouse. Like, what does that say about me, psychologically? Because, like, okay, this guy, he really wants it, but there's just something about him that makes me think, I don't know, like, it should be him, and yet I feel drawn towards this mouse who has stumbled onto this and wants to find success and isn't sure if this is the right thing because it's not the one they set after. And which, I mean, that totally sounds like something that I would have happen or whatever. This guy, I don't know. He wants it. He's going for it. Maybe he's going to get it. Maybe that's really all it takes. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's too easy for him. I just don't know why I don't know what it is about him that I'm thinking, like, don't know. Now that bird, that smug bird up there, I don't think he should get it. Like, I think he could get it, but I think he's doing it just to be better than everybody. But he has an unfair advantage and he doesn't realize it. Or he doesn't care that he has an unfair advantage. Which one, which one do you identify with? Sorry if you're the bird and I'm like, I guess being mean about it. But probably if you're the bird, you're not realizing you're the bird, and that's fine. We'll just pretend that nobody's the bird. Because, but, like, what's this turtle's deal, What's his deal? Alright, I've added some shadows. I guess there should be some shadow here where this thing is, because it would cast something there. Also, tell me, what's your favorite Disney show based on a movie? Like, well, on one of their movies, We've got, like, Little Mermaid, we've got Aladdin, we've got Rapunzel, what other ones were there? Oh, Hercules! Yeah, Hercules! That used to be my reason for living, that show. I love that movie so much. It's still my favorite Disney movie. I relate to it so much. And that, I used to get up, that show was on at like 6:30, maybe 6 in the morning. I had to get up at 6:30. This is like as a teenager. And that show got me out of bed in the mornings, I was like, but if I get up now, I can watch Hercules. So I would. Man, that show's good too. If you haven't seen it, you probably haven't. I think I'm the only person who's seen it, but that can't be true. There must be other people. Just comment Hercules if you've seen it, or tell me about your love for it, because we gotta stick together. I love that show. It takes place, like, he's in high school, which doesn't make sense because this isn't, like, what happened, but, like, he's in high school and he has, like, friends and stuff, and they, like, I don't know, they have silly lessons and things. So it takes place, like, in the past. So it's, like, they can kind of do what they want with it, but, man. Okay, my least favorite of those is definitely Little Mermaid. That one was kind of stupid. There must be more than this, too, and I just can't think of it. But, like, oh, wasn't there one of, Tarzan? Am I making that up? Anyway. I was a toss-up. Did they make one of Lilo and Stitch? I don't think I've seen that. Maybe I have. I haven't seen all the shows. I can't say. But it's a real toss-up to me between Hercules, Aladdin, and Rapunzel. So, I mean, Rapunzel, like I said, it's got some issues. But it has also got some really good things about it. And, oh my god, the music. And, like, Jeremy Jordan in that, like, I feel like they wasted him because he should have had his own movie. I mean, they didn't waste it. He was great in that. But, like, God, he can sing. Anyway. Okay, here we go. This is Expedition. These guys are all on an expedition. And who will win? And what will they get out of it, It's all emotional rewards here. But sometimes those are the most important. Okay, that's it for today. Like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Especially, like, this is a new channel. Still growing. Well, hopefully channels are always still growing. But, it's a little seedling channel. Much like my bonsai. They could grow together. Anyway, that's it for today. I will see you next time on the Cluttered Corner.